you always wished and wondered if you could possibly become a franchise owner, but the only thing stopping you is, several million bucks, because clearly that's how much it takes to become a franchise owner? Well, what if I told you that's not true? Owning a franchise does not always take hundreds of thousands of dollars in your bank, and it doesn't take a multi-million-dollar loan to make it possible. In fact, it is significantly more attainable than most people realize, and I bet you right now you're in a position to make that happen. That's what we're going to talk about today. But first, a quick reminder, who the heck am I? Why should you listen to us? Well, I'm Tim Parmeter. I am the founder and CEO of Francoach, and I'm going to talk to you about what we do. We are a national search firm dedicated to working with individuals like yourself interested in owning a franchise. We're partnered with well over 600 of the top franchisors in the country, and we are here, number one, to simply properly educate you on franchise ownership. Most people don't know the first thing about it, and what they think they know is usually wrong. Like funding. So we're going to talk about that today. What do you mean being able to financially afford a franchise? It's McDonald's, it's Taco Bell, it's millions and millions of dollars. Yes, those franchises are, but there are hundreds, really thousands of potential franchise owners opportunities that cost a fraction of what a McDonald's will cost you. So the way we always talk to our clients is very simply this. Think about buying a house. Now, we're not talking about mega mansion overlooking the ocean. We are talking about cute little fixer-upper starter home in Wichita, Kansas. If you're sitting there going, okay, do I have enough money for the down payment to buy that house? Do I have good enough credit to get a home loan? Do I maybe have a little bit of money left over to, pay the movers? Because I'm not doing that stuff. And then we're going to need probably some new curtains or something in the house. If I know somebody is sitting in that situation right there, cute little fixer-up starter home, they can make that happen. I know we will have hundreds of franchises that are available to you in that financial range. No, really, it is true. Most people, when they think about franchising, they think about the Golden Arches. They think about Taco Bell. They think about these big, massive things that we go to. But over half the franchises that we work with don't require retail space. They are things that are, maybe there's a small office. Sometimes you don't even need an office. They are service-based. We are taking what the business does, we are taking it to the customer, whether it's to the home, to a business, to both, whatever. Those things are, again, literally sometimes less than 10% of what the cost of a McDonald's is. Oh, by the way, sometimes they can have even more financial potential for you as an owner than a McDonald's or a Taco Bell, those big things that you see everywhere. So we'll get into how much money you can make another time, but right now let's talk about how you can make it happen. So there are essentially 5 funding options that you can use to own a franchise. Number one is very simply cash. That's probably also the one that's used the least, but think about buying a house. There are people that are gonna just go, let me cut you a check for the cost of that house. Not very many people, not me, but there are people out there that will do that. But the number one most common method to fund a franchise is through the SBA, the Small Business Administration, through their loan program. Now, this can be anywhere from $100,000 to several $1 million and everywhere in between. But when we talk about kind of that starter home analogy, we're going to need some cash to get a loan, usually like the minimum's kind of about $100,000 to $150,000. We're going to need usually somewhere around $30,000 liquid, right? Think that down payment for the house. And then we get the loan for the rest. Pretty simple, right? And again, that really gives us hundreds and hundreds of opportunities to look at in a franchise standpoint. Is that entry point going to get you 14 Taco Bells? Not today, but it is going to give you multiple opportunities to look at. So we can get a loan. We can get an SBA loan. We actually will work with our clients on all of this, but we can do an SBA loan. We can do a couple different types of unsecured loan, term loans, business lines of credit. The other thing people use often, especially here over the last few years, is their own money, equity, right? What do you have in a house that you own already? Can you do a HELOC? Is that something that's become really popular here the last few years as, again, everybody's equity in their home has skyrocketed. And then there's another funding option referred to as a ROBS. Now, most people don't even know this exists. In fact, there are times we have clients that they go talk to their financial planner or their accountant and they start yelling and screaming at us. What are they doing? They don't know what the heck they're doing because even they don't know it's a thing. So ROBS stands for Rollover for Business Startup. So what this essentially means in a very simplistic fashion, let's say you've got $200,000 in a 401k. We all pretty much have a good idea that if we're going to withdraw that money from there, we're going to take that $200,000 right off the bat, we're going to get probably a 10% penalty for pulling it out. Then all of that money is now taxable income. That's going to typically, now we're going to get taxed on that. It's probably going to raise our tax bracket, right? It can be, somewhere, that 200,000, we may at the end of the day really only have access to maybe 120 of it. With the ROBs, basically think about taking that $200,000 that you have now in a 401k. We're going to take that, we're going to basically roll it over to a new 401k account that is designed for your business. Now you can take all of that money, not taxed, not penalized, and use that to start your business, right? Business startup. Yeah, there is a little bit of a fee to do that, but it's usually a couple grand for that. And now what you've been able to do is you've been able to diversify your money. You're in control over the return that you're gonna get on that money in your business that you have just started up versus trusting the market. Some people, like, you would think you were trying to steal their child with that. But there are multiple people that look at that and go, oh my gosh. And again, franchise ownership is all about control. I'm in control of my life and my success running a business versus working for somebody else. I'm in control of the return I'm getting on my money, because instead of just leaving it into the market in a nice little mutual fund getting 7-8%, I'm putting that into the business that I've just started up, and I am in control over what that can turn into. So those basic 5 options are really there for people. And again, if you have a rollover, you really don't need much cash out of pocket. Unsecured term loans, no cash out of pocket. You got a cash, you want to pay for the whole thing there, have at it. You want to use the money in the real estate that you already have, great. If you want to go just old school, traditional SBA loan, you need a little cash. Think about buying that starter home. If you can do that, your credit is good enough. Folks, you really will have hundreds and hundreds of franchises that could be a potential fantastic fit for you. And we're going to help you find the funding options to make that happen. So I think as we look at this, franchise ownership is significantly more attainable than what you think it is. Our job is to help properly educate you to make this happen. If you want to learn more, what are these funding options? How do we get connected to the right people? What are these hundreds of franchises that could be a potential match for you? Francoach.net is our website. Go find us. We've got a fantastic podcast in addition to this YouTube channel that you can subscribe to right here. Franchising 101 podcast is also there for you with hundreds of things. There's never any fee for our service. You're listening, you're curious, you want to learn more. Let's talk to you and help you create your better tomorrow.